Hyperice's innovative and cutting-edge technology gives players a competitive advantage by accelerating recovery time and enhancing player performance, keeping players like Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes ready for action on the field. Despite relentless pressure from opposing defenses, Mahomes continues to make the Chiefs' offense one of the most potent in the NFL and has Kansas City poised for another championship run. The NFL has partnered with Hyperice to improve the game for future generations.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Incentive Concepts Live. My name is Andy Hudson. I'm your host, and I'm the Director of Marketing for Incentive Concepts. Happy New Year yet again to everybody. It's 2021. We are very excited for everybody to join us. And with all that's going on in the world, we hope the next 30 minutes provides you a needed break from your day. And so grab a cup of coffee or a cold drink and enjoy. And if you watched our welcome video of 2021 on Monday, you remember that my personal mantras for the year are hope, optimism, and motivation. So I hope you have some of your own personal mantras to help you through this time and help you and your loved ones remain healthy and mentally strong right now. So if I could have our guests turn on all of their information, I'd appreciate that. And let me welcome everybody today. We have with the Incentive Concepts team, our vice president and my good friend Mike Reinberg, and from our newest brand partner and one of my newer best friends, Brendan Bergson. Hey guys, how we doing?
Great, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Brendan, nice to see you. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Excited to be here. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. We're excited to be joining forces with Incentive Concepts and kick things off.
Awesome. Thank you. Mike, I'm going to start with you. First of all, how's it going? And you heard my kind of personal mantras. I know you and I are doing push-ups together this year, but can you kind of tell me a little bit about your personal goals and then maybe give a formal introduction to our guest?
Yeah, for sure, Andy. And I'm glad you mentioned the push-ups. I had my third kid earlier in 2020, and my shoulders have gotten weakened by carrying that lunk around. But no, I'm doing great. We had a great end to 2020, all things considered. Family is happy and healthy, and yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time for us. So excited to kick off this year with a new brand, and as you just showed, to be able to talk about the NFL and a brand launch. It's really exciting stuff. We've got a trade show next week, industry event, and to be able to go into that with something new and exciting to talk about, which every attendee walks up at a traditional trade show and says, "What's new and exciting?" Well, we've got something this year, and we're really proud of that. Brendan and I connected over the summer. I met one of his colleagues at the outdoor retail show early last year, and we just kind of pieced it together, and we're lucky to be here today with you.
Great. And Brendan, I'm going to ask you kind of the same question. You heard my mantras: hope, optimism, and motivation. Do you have any personal or professional goals for the year that you'd like to share with us? Or
I'll tell you what, Andy, it was a crazy finish to 2020 for us. We pushed all the way up to 12/31, closed out the best month in company history, the best year in company history. And it's just been, it's been a freight train heading into 2021. So part of my mantras is to, kind of take a step back and just appreciate everything that we've accomplished over these last 12 months. And also take some time to focus on my own personal wellness, which is easy to do without access to all these products, but also focus a little bit more time on family. I myself have a 15-month-old that is running our household currently. So definitely in the face of a pandemic, I'm sure there's a lot of working from home parents out there that can appreciate a lot of the stressors that go on inside such a household.
Sure, and that's a perfect segue, and we didn't do it on purpose, but to our first viewer question that I wanted to ask, because we like to engage our viewers, and we'd like to hear kind of what are some of your strategies out there, viewers, for relieving tension and stress in your lives. Okay, you might not have a 15-month-old like Brendan, or 3 kids like Mike, or 2 teenagers like me, which I can tell you is stressful. But we'd love to hear what are some of your personal ways to deal with tension or stress. So put that in the chats. And I just put a comment in there as well. So, Brendan, you say you have a family of a 15-month-old. Tell us a little bit about a little more about your background professionally and kind of your history and how you joined the Hyperice family.
Yeah, so I've been with Hyperice for coming up on 10 months now, which seems like a short time. I actually joined forces with them a week before the world went into, or the United States more specifically, went into their shutdown. Joined Hyperice by way of acquisition by another company called Normatec, which is now a brand and product line that is part of the Hyperice family. So I was with Normatec for 6 years, almost to the date, prior to joining forces with Hyperice. Is another, product and brand in the wellness and recovery tech space. I myself was a collegiate athlete at Northeastern University. I was on their track and field team. So, part of my passion is combining business and performance, sports speaking, and has transitioned nicely into this wellness space, over the last 6 to 7 years. And so it's been a natural fit to combine, my two passions. And then, of course, bringing all the Normatec knowledge to the Hyperice family of recovery tech.
Excellent. And you mentioned track and field. Were you in a specific, were you a runner? Were you a field event or?
I say ran track and field. I was a long jumper.
Okay.
I didn't run too far, and my genetics wouldn't allow me to do that. So I made the most with what I was given, and was able to participate all 4 years. And I love the sport. We have a longstanding partnership with USA Track and Field, so it's cool to be able to tie some of my own personal accomplishments in the sport to much more. Elite level athletes.
Awesome. Mike, were you ever into track and field? I was a slow sprinter, so I didn't have a very good history in track and field myself, but.
No, I'm a washed up lacrosse player. I was always told I had a quick first step, but not really a great runner.
Okay. Well, so we all are athletes in some way, shape, or form. I'm into hockey, as you know. And I know I have some sore muscles after I referee hockey games. I'm a referee as well. But let's look at some of the comments here about how people relieve stress. I'm hearing some bike riding, some meditation, working out, chiropractic adjustments. And then Elaine Reinberg says, foot rubs from my dear husband.
And I've been replaced.
We know Elaine.
I've been replaced as well.
There you go. So, Brendan, I'm going to stick with you for a second. What is Hyperice? Kind of talk about the family, your products, maybe some of your principles or missions and core values, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. So at our very core, our goal and mission at Hyperice is to help everyone on Earth move and feel better. We believe the quality of life is intimately connected through, to movement through technology. And what that means, to us is providing solutions to individuals in the form of a physical product, and also digital solutions for education as well, to allow them to take better care of themselves. For the last decade, Hyperice has been very well connected at the most elite level of professional sports. We started back in 2010. Our founder, Anthony Katz, by no means was a professional athlete or a exercise physiologist himself. He just happened to have some really great connections within professional basketball, and just happened to notice what they were doing, recovery, to take better care of themselves and try to mitigate soreness and inflammation, things that professional athletes are very accustomed to. And at the time, it was ice and compression. And what they were doing is they were taking out, ice machines, filling up bags of ice with plastic bags, then saran wrapping it around their knees, ankles, shoulders, elbows, wherever they were feeling that particular pain. And what he did was, so there's got to be a more efficient way to do this, and develop this technology with a neoprene sleeve that would then slide over those specific body parts, and you'd be able to store that or add a cooling component to it, to just make it, one, reusable, two, a little bit sexier in terms of the product itself. And when you're endorsed by the highest level athletes on the planet, like a Kobe Bryant or a LeBron James, word starts to spread. And we were able to kind of infiltrate professional sports in that manner. And over the next couple of years, rely on those athletes at the pinnacle of human performance to tell them what their bodies needed to take better care of themselves. And we're able to really innovate it and navigate different product lines, combining vibration and percussion and also compression, and to really provide a holistic and complete suite of wellness solutions for not only the elite athlete, but also the everyday individual. We've seen the company kind of transcend professional sports into general health and wellness over these last few years.
Fantastic. Well, that was fantastic. And before I get too much further, I do want to mention to our viewers that you have been kind enough, Brendan and Hyperice, to donate a Hyperice Hypervolt Percussion Massage Device that we're actually giving away today to our viewers. So head on over to incentiveconcepts.com/Hypervolt. Is that the one that you have right there, Mike, the Hypervolt?
Yes.
Okay, so we're giving away one of these things that Mike has. Things, I shouldn't say things. One of these Hypervolt machines, fantastic. Very user-friendly, Mike. You were talking about it the other day, and that'll help you recover. Now, Brendan, I want to stick with you because you started talking about professional sports, and there was a press release that went out just earlier today, if I'm not mistaken. Can you tell us about that?
I sure can, now that it's public information. As of this morning, Hyperice has become the official recovery technology partner of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, which piggybacks off of a number of, I would say, league-wide partnerships that we have created and developed and nurtured over the last 10 years, but have now made official within these last few months. So the Kansas City Chiefs will be the first team sponsorship that Hyperice has become a part of, which again has spun out of official league partnerships with the NFL, the NBA, MLB, PGA Tour, and UFC.
Fantastic. Well, David Rosenstock is watching out there, and he's a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. And so he just put Chiefs in the comments. So did Mary Pat. A lot of us Rams fans from years ago have shifted over to being Chiefs fans, I think. So Mike, are you a Chiefs fan now, or?
I'm a Mahomes fan. Yeah, I'll go with that for now.
Okay, good. So Mike, I'm going to come over to you. And remember, folks, enter to win the Hypervolt by going to incentiveconcepts.com/Hypervolt. Thank you, Brendan, again for donating that. But Mike, I want to talk to you about what all is involved in bringing on a new brand partner, because Incentive Concepts doesn't just like bring somebody in and announce them. It's a long process. Can you kind of touch on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've done 2 brand launches in the past 6 months or so. And both of them I met at the Outdoor Retail Show last year. So it's going to be great when we have in-person events back, because performance categories, outdoor and wellness categories are so big right now. So yeah, find the trends that are in demand, and wellness is at the top of the list. So starting there, and then finding an advocate, and then developing a mutual advocacy that I got connected over a period of time with Brendan, and he understood who we are. We spent a lot of time, this is probably our 100th Zoom call together. Spent a lot of time getting to know each other's companies, the inner workings. What the management structure look like? What are the pillars of the company? What make you successful? And communicating that at every department, from finance to operations to sales. And you called this a thing earlier, and when you look at it, you say, what does that do? What do I do with it? And when you have something like this and you give it to somebody and they get to experience and feel the quality of it, and then they start applying it to their everyday lives. So finding a brand like Hyperice, like I said, an in-demand category, but top-tier quality. It's a category leader, like a lot of our other brands are. And then working on the agreement, and Brendan understanding our needs and our customers' needs, that they can confidently market and sell this brand to their customers in their different programs, because we've got a lot of different ways that we can offer our incentive products and merchandise.
Wonderful. Great overview there. And there's a lot going on. I mean, it takes a lot to launch a brand like this, and we certainly want to do it right here at Incentive Concepts. And what do you think the reaction in the industry is going to be, Mike? Have you heard anything so far?
Well, I listen to the reps, listen to Kevin Hagan, our sales manager. That's what we need to know. So after you can see that it's an in-demand product and category, it can be a success. There's always going to be noise. There's always going to be actors out there, other brands. Competition is good, but when you have a strong message that you've got a high quality product from a reliable company like Incentive Concepts, that's a winning formula. So the reps gave great reviews after our internal training the other day about Brendan's presentation. They understand the program, how we're going to be able to offer it in dropship and in bulk opportunities. We're going to look to decorate. We're going to put together a decoration program. So there's a lot of different ways to sell this product. Customers will be all over it because they know their customers are going to want these types of price points and these type of products.
Excellent, excellent. I was telling you that I'm a hockey referee, and I'm actually off the ice right now because of COVID. But I know some of our guys that referee out there, they'll do a couple games in the morning for kids, then they'll maybe do a couple games in the evening for high school or whatever. And I could imagine this product really coming in handy in between that. So Brendan, well, actually, before I ask you this question, why don't you put in the comments, folks, kind of some activities that maybe you are involved in, exercise or playing sports, where you think a Hyperice product might help with your recovery. Mike, probably from lacrosse, it would help you after getting beat up on the lacrosse field a little bit, huh?
Yeah, for sure. We say recovery, but I tell you what, especially now, everybody's doing a diet or starting a new workout. It's the New Year's resolution, so people want to get back to working out after the holidays, and I use it to warm up, and as most people would. I think Brendan told us the other day about LeBron wearing the Normatec pants before, during, and after the game. I go and whether I'm getting up in the morning or going to bed or I'm at work, this thing's with me. It's by my side. I run it over my shoulders, my neck, midway through the day when I'm just sitting at my desk, just to get blood flowing to my brain again, over my legs, after I've been sitting for a while. But especially, I'll go do boxing, I'll go lift weights, I'll run, and I got a ski trip coming up. And, like you were talking about hockey, you're going in and out of your skates or ski boots, stuff like that. This is huge to get blood flowing again through your legs and muscles, through your feet. It really makes a huge difference. And if you're afraid to go in and start doing those push-ups and everything hurts and it's like, this is wrong, this is bad, start out with this, and once the blood is flowing in that muscle again, you're gonna really see some great results.
Okay. Well, Brendan, I think he stole your thunder, because I was going to kind of ask you some questions that would maybe lead to this. Do you have anything to add with what Mike just said, or?
No, and to be honest, Andy, our products are the best salespeople in marketing that we could ask for, and the experiences really drive home what the company is all about. And something I think that you touched on earlier that really has been a trend over the last 9 or 10 months, or however long we've been in this seemingly endless pandemic, is that the way you move determines how you feel. And any kind of hindrances in, whether it's, acute, chronic, or some type of soft tissue injury that you may be experiencing, that affects how you're feeling. And anything that we can do to help support and alleviate a lot of those stressors is just going to make you feel better. And I think that's why we're seeing our products become more of take more of a preventative approach. Recovery is great for those individuals that are able to get out there and move, whether it's, some type of active, fitness regimen or skiing, or even just getting out for a walk. But to integrate this into your routine before, 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, running the Hypervolt, on your traps and lower back before you get down and sit down for 8 hours a day, like myself, or something that you're doing at the end of the day before you go to bed to, potentially enhance your sleep. I think there's a lot of different ways that, we can integrate into somebody's lifestyle, just to, again, help them feel and move better.
Okay. And you talked about feeling better physically, but I imagine just the stress relief mentally too, especially with what's been going on in the world the past several months, and even more recently days and weeks. I know my teenagers are kind of stressed out just in general, and I think everybody's on edge. I imagine some of the products would kind of help with your mental health too. Am I right on that, Brendan? Or?
Yeah. And again, it goes back to, any sort of pain or soreness that you might be experiencing can have a huge effect on, your mental well-being. And a cool piece of feedback that we've been receiving in a lot of senior living and assisted living communities is these individuals that, may be feeling, some sense of, aloneness during this time, where they're not able to see, family members, but by actually using the Normatec, they have a renewed sense of independence because it allows them to get up and move around because they're able to, circulate that blood a little bit more and helps with their mobility. So there are huge, amplified effects, some of which we're not even aware of, just based on the feedback in the market, but it absolutely can help, your mental well-being just to allow you to move more freely without pain.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. We have some family members that are kind of isolated right now. They're widowed, for example, or they don't have a partner, and that isolation can really cause some go to some dark places mentally, and physical exercise always helps me anyway to feel better mentally and physically as well. So, Mike, I want to.
Andy, I wanted to point out that something I forgot to mention is that the Hyperice app, has workouts and routines in there to take the worry or research out of it. It tells you what to do, and there are ones for relaxing or for kind of meditation, what you can do, or even there's workouts in there that tell you what to do before the workout, during the workout, and then how to use the Hypervolt after it. So I just wanted to point that out.
Sure, thanks for mentioning that. And in the comments, we asked about some of the things that people are exercise or routines they're doing that they might help with. And Dan Bull says, recover from sitting at a computer all day. I tell you what, just sitting all day can be harder on your body than moving. Dave Kedzie, running and weightlifting. He's a very fit guy. Tom wants to join your ski trip, Mike. So
yeah. Tom's a big advocate already, I know.
Okay. And then some other great comments on there. Lots of cardio by Stephanie Holcomb. So good. I'm glad to see that people are out there exercising. That's so important. So Mike, what's what can we look at in the next days or weeks or months to kind of share in this excitement of this new brand as we launch up and bring this new brand into our family? You mentioned the show next week. Mm-hmm. What can you share with us about the next several weeks or months with Hyperice?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be more and more coming out about how we will fit this into our different business segments. We are going to work on a decoration program. There's just, these are retail products, and it's not a promotional product, but it can be used as one. But there's just certain ways we have to ensure we do that properly. And we have a customer agreement that outlines how this product can be used. I always want to, that's the legal disclaimer there at the bottom. But ways we can safely decorate and co-brand products or accessories that come with the products, like cases or stands. So that's something we'll work on with our very own Mary Pat. Let's see, and then figuring out ways to get it into different corporate events, whether it's packaging it with other brands. Like I said, we launched a great brand, Corksicle, earlier in 2020. So there you've got hydration, you've got mobility with this, you've got bows that you can combine it with. There's just a lot of branding and marketing that's going to be going out that are great conversation starters that our reps will be having with their buyers. And of course, Andy, whenever I start talking, come up with these ideas, I just create more work for you, which you love.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you. Thanks for all the work. I won't be having any time off this weekend, apparently. I'm joking. So Brendan, we're getting close to the end of our half hour, and I want to kind of leave you until the end, or not leave you till the end, let you have the last word, so to speak. We showed the video at the beginning that featured Patrick Mahomes, and you mentioned the announcement about the Chiefs. How does having those relationships, whether it's Major League Baseball or the NBA or whatnot, how does that set you apart from your competitors?
Well, I think those relationships speak for themselves, Andy. If you're looking at the most elite organizations in their respective domains, respective sports, over the last 10 years, they've had access to God knows how many, knickknacks and products that have shown up on their doorstep. And, time and time again, we've proven that we can not only provide quality products, but continue to innovate, over that same time and meeting the needs and the demands of the professional athlete. And so for the NFL to not only stand behind Hyperice as a brand, but also as an investor as well, by looking at the future of wellness and recovery technology, I think speaks volumes for where we're going as a company. And the NFL and NBA and MLB have recognized the need for this sort of technology to be given priority access to not only before and after, but during competition, for these individuals to take better care of themselves. The PGA Tour, part of our relationship and agreement with them was that the Hyperice technology be allowed inside the ropes during competition, and we actually had to change the rules of golf to write in that particular line item so that it would be allowable. So it just goes to show you how far and willing these organizations are going to take better care of, for lack of a better term, their employees, because they're able to put a better product out there on the market, which is better for television, it's better for ratings, it's better for their brands. And I think, looking forward at those, organizations give us a platform to, share our message with the masses. And I think, companies and corporations should be thinking about their employees in the same way, and how can they, offer better solutions and better, products for their employees to feel and perform their best. And, they're not necessarily professional athletes, but I think that everybody needs to, feel their best in order to perform their best in the workplace.
Well, that's the perfect way. I mean, Incentive Concepts, our motto is delivering the best better. And you've just used the word best and better, feeling better, delivering the best products. I think it's a perfect partnership, and we sure do appreciate all that you've done so far. I know you're probably getting tired of being on Zoom calls with Mike.
No such thing.
Okay, good. Well, we really appreciate you being here. Viewers, make sure to go over to incentiveconcepts.com/hypervolt to enter for that Hypervolt. I'm sure some of our viewers have already done that. We're going to leave that open until about 2:30 Central Time. And then 2 weeks from today, January 21st, I almost said July 21st, January 21st, we're going to have our own Aaron Cook on for what we're calling our unboxing challenge videos. And he's going to be our first one. And this is kind of like, Brendan, this is kind of like those social media influencers out there who order something and then they take it out of the box on video. But we're going to do it live. And Aaron doesn't even know what he's getting. So, no pressure, Aaron. But he's a good guinea pig for that first one. And I think it's going to be fantastic. So for those of you that are out there watching, thanks again for watching. We appreciate it. Brendan, thank you very much again. Mike, thanks for joining us. And any closing thoughts there, Mike, that you'd like to say? Or
Yeah, I got a new excuse for a bad golf game, that I didn't charge this to loosen up my back. And, that's what was wrong with my swing that day. I forgot about that. Thanks,
Perfect.
Brendan.
Perfect.
No, great job, Andy. Thank you. And thank you again, Brendan, for all the support.
And
yeah,
Brendan,
of course.
Brendan, thanks to you as well. Everybody have a great rest of your week and weekend, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Thanks a lot.